Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support, and I hope that this video finds you well wherever you are. Ladies and gentlemen, President William Samoei Ruto has decided to step on a tiger's tail by messing up with the church. It is the church that William Ruto used as a ladder when he was campaigning, and with that, he achieved massive support from the congregation. They decided that William Ruto was sent from God. But now, just like many other people who supported William Ruto, the church has rebelled. And I want us to begin this analysis by a warning that the former Law Society of Kenya president, Nelson Havi, gave to William Ruto. Nelson Havi told Ruto, if you pick a war with the church, you will lose. And the media reported that the former Law Society of Kenya president Nelson Havi has warned President William Ruto against clashing with the church as he is likely to lose. You pick a war with the Catholic and the Anglican church, you will lose. You will lose terribly. The Anglican and the Catholic church are the richest formations. They are enterprises, he told William Ruto when he realized that William Ruto had decided that he wanted to go head on with the church. Some people are saying that the church must now meet their match because they made their bed and they must lie on it. Now, a few days ago or a few weeks ago, William Ruto donated some money to the tune of 5.8 million shillings to the Catholic Church, Soweto branch. But within a few days, the Archbishop Philip Anyolo rejected that money and directed that that money be returned to William Ruto. The state was humiliated and they didn't want to take that shame. So William Ruto decided that he was going to use the Anglican Church to try and neutralize the Archbishop, the Catholic Church. And so, with impunity and arrogance, William Ruto gave the Bungoma Senator, Ken Lusaka, 5 million Kenya shillings to donate to NCCK Church. And with a lot of display of arrogance, they gave this money just to show the Catholic Church that we still have churches that can take this money. And they were bragging about it. And I remember the governor was saying that if you have to return this, I hope it will not be returned. If you return it, please give it to me and use it.
Askofu na kanisa letu, we are blessed. Mimi nimetumwa na Mheshimiwa Rais na shilingi milioni 5. 5 million. Iko wapi? Leta. I hope haitarudishwa. Leta rudone. Mkikataa mnipatie mimi mwenyewe. Baba Askofu kuja niwapatie. Bishop amesema hatarudisha hii. Haya, si president amelipa deni. Hiyo ndio mavuno yake, amesema niwaletee. Sasa tukiongezea na ile alipeleka DEB, that day president amekuwa hapa, he has spent 10 billion in our county. 10 million in our county. Alafu huyu mako upalio kakusuko barabara. Ushindwe kabisa. Basi nataka tusindikize wale tuko tayari kwa sababu hatukuwa tumejitayarisha kidogo tu. Mimi baba askofu nasindikiza Mheshimiwa Rais na shilingi 50,000. 50,000.
And with this, William Ruto did not realize that there are many other things that are bedeviling Kenyans, and our churches are also part of this country, that he ought not to have gone ahead to mess with the church. And so yesterday, the National Council of Churches of Kenya decided to give an ultimatum. And they told William Ruto, we will no longer massage you. And they gave their report to Kenyans and they issued directive. They talked about 5 things and I want us to look at this. They said they rejected lies. You see, we have seen people saying Ruto must go, Mwizi, Ruto is a liar, Ruto lies all the time. But the church has now decided to tell Ruto to the face that you are a liar. And they told Kenyans, please don't celebrate lies. They also said that our government, the 3 branches, the executive, the judiciary, and the legislative arm of the government are all corrupt, including independent institutions. And they told Kenyans to reject that. They also said that the government must suspend the SHA because the transition is ailing Kenyans more than the diseases that the SHA is supposed to help. They talked about the non-performing members of parliament, and they said Kenyans must begin recalling those members of parliament. They also talked about the cases that have been deliberately imposed to ensure that we don't have a properly constituted IEBC, and they gave an ultimatum of 2 weeks, failure to which they might call people to the streets. And they also talked about politicians have been barred from playing politics and addressing the congregation while in churches. They rejected GMOs. And Bishop Olesapit, a man who presided over Ruto's declaration at the IEBC, seems to have regretted that handshake. And he directed the Bungoma Bishop Michumo to return that money and told them that they adhere to the directives of the National Council of Churches and that money must be returned because it seems like William Ruto wanted to play politics and divide the church.
It is very unfortunate that every arm of the government, executive, legislature and judiciary, and even the independent commissions have been associated with corruption. This is a state God complains about in Micah chapter 3 verse 11. It is our conviction that only we as the people of Kenya can stop corruption. Let us end the culture of celebrating the corrupt and start shaming them instead. Let us build a culture of supporting and electing persons who manifest integrity. As this, we encourage all of us as Kenyans to reject contributions by political leaders and their appointees, knowing that most of the money given is stolen taxes. We must stop celebrating whenever the president, members of parliament, governors, members of county assembly and other political actors donate money whose source are not clear. As a church, we make it clear that all persons are free to attend worship services and give their offerings, but we will not allow the sacred religious practice to be used for self-promotion and self-marketing.
And falsehood have been elevated to the point where no one knows what to believe anymore. These narratives are often premised on lies and falsehood. We appeal to you, Kenyans, brothers and sisters, to seek the truth.
Let us exercise the powers of the office of the citizen. One of them is to speak up. One of them is to stand up and be seen.
Not remain silent. Take every opportunity to demand that the implementation of SHIA or SHIF is suspended until all the necessary structures are put in place. Kenyans, as voters, to collect signatures and commence the processes of recalling the members of parliament who are not performing as per your requirements and demands. And as electorates, you are the employer, not the employee, not the servant, of the members of parliament and other elected leaders to demand that the judiciary concludes the cases touching on IEBC within the next 2 weeks.
You know, William Ruto is a very, very crafty and a shrewd politician. He realized that he had been humiliated because when the church rejects your money, you are rejected. And the reason why they reject this money, they say they do not know the source of this money. Someone was telling me that I want you to imagine that maybe you're working for a county government, or you are working as a doctor, or any civil servant. You've not been paid, or the government says there is no money. Then William Ruto comes and donates 5 million Kenya shillings, not only in your church, but in many other churches. And then you see your bishop taking this money. I mean, how do you feel? Because you are told there is no money, yet there is money to be distributed to churches. And this is why the church decided, we are not going to allow this. The church, like William Ruto, was using the very, very bishops to rock the boat from within. There is a lot of suspicion, there's a lot of corruption, and I've always said on this channel that the reason why people believe that Kenya is corrupt, there are things that we see, but there are independent institutions. I always mention the Office of the Controller of Budget and the Office of the Auditor General. They are mandated to scrutinize how the government uses taxpayers' money, and they come up with a report that there is massive corruption and wastage. So the church might not have any authority to criticize the government when they handle such money. That's why the church has decided we are not going to allow this. Picture this, that the Catholic Church had rejected Ruto's money, and then the Anglican Church happily takes it. Then Ruto was going to take, that mileage, and he would have defeated the sole reason why that one is being rejected. They're saying they don't know the source. And William Ruto wanted to divide that church right in the middle. He wanted to silence them. Let me tell you, I've repeated, when you take that money, you cannot have any moral authority. You lose the moral authority of criticizing the church. It is the church that William Ruto used to ride to power. The church is an opinion shaper. They congregate, and there are very many Kenyans who listen to the pastors and the bishops. I remember there was a time when the COVID vaccine was introduced to the country, and I remember an old granny publicly appealed to the Catholic Church, and they said, please give us the direction. We are not sure about this vaccine, until the Catholic Church came out and told them, the vaccine is good, you can go ahead and use it. The church controls, people have really subscribed to the ideologies of the church, and they want always to see what the church says. So if William Ruto messes up with the church, William Ruto can as well forget the votes that he massively got from the congregation. And I can assure you, I will still want to repeat this, the only way William Ruto will win the 2027 election is by stealing. If there is no rigging, I don't think whether William Ruto will have his way. Olesapit is a man who regrets his actions, because had he, refused to preside over the declaration of the presidential results at a time when people were fighting, and he could easily see that things were not done in the right manner, maybe things would have been different. But Mui Hua Mwema, there is no one who is incorrigible. Everyone can always see the light and turn. And he has decided that he's no longer going to massage William Samoei Ruto. And this is the best thing that we've always wanted. The church has decided to occupy the role of opposition, because we no longer have the opposition. If they join hands with people like Kalonzo, yes, they will team up and they can always check the government. As we head to 2027, there's going to be a very massive rejection. The church has decided they are no longer going to keep quiet. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the directive. We are waiting for the MPESA bishops who are still going to look for brown envelopes, because that is the only way William Ruto is going to silence the church. But the church has decided, no, we are not going. Kenyans have been waiting for someone to give them a shoulder to lean on. The church is there for them, and the church is saying, we have our destiny in our own hands. We have to reject, we have to resist, we have to rebel. And that is the spirit of the Gen Z.